up once it is live. All right. So welcome to another unboxing. Today we are looking at the Mistia setting, or the Mistia world, and how this has come about is through various board games. There's been a couple of board games, card game, and also an RPG setting, which is something that kind of motivated me to finally do this. So to talk about the setting, I thought we would start with the book that they provided with their very first Kickstarter. That was the art of Mystia. So Mystia is a setting in a game, a series of games, done by Tabula Games, which is an Italian studio. And they hired Travis Anderson to do most of the artwork and illustration for it. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful looking world. And Travis does a great job of really getting you into this. And the thing that's really compelling about this, it's kind of a sci-fi fantasy setting and almost a post-apocalypse setting, but there's a kind of a rebuilding or a rebirth of this world. So let's take a look quickly through this art book to kind of get you into some of this lore, and then we'll open a few of the games and you can see the miniatures they produced and kind of how things look. And then we'll tease a little bit. It's going to deserve its own video and flip through, but we'll tease a little bit the RPG that was developed for this setting as well. So this is Mistia by Tabula Games. So this book was included in their first Kickstarter as a bonus for backing it. And we'll take a quick flip through. So there's some really nice, yes, this was 2018 that the first Mistia game came out. So as you can see, it's an interesting fusion of the very geometric, but also kind of a fantasy. There's a fantasy look, but also the power source or of the setting is very mysterious and also feels very, very sci-fi. So the setting or the story of Mystion is based on a planet which suffered a catastrophe. There was a collision, like the original thing that happened is a great crystal collided with the planet Ekayion. So Ekayion is the planet pictured here and was struck by this crystal. But instead of shattering the planet, it basically, because of the properties of the crystal, it held the planet together, but changed basically everything. The force that pierced the crystal was strong enough to just change, gravity and every force kind of governing the planet. And there's no certainty, maybe this is a mystery that needs to be uncovered, but there's no certainty whether or not all life was destroyed. And the things that inhabited the planet afterwards were actually just these oddities or these anomalies created by the crystal itself. So very interesting setting. So on impact, the crystal scattered into shards all over the planet, from the surfaces to the greatest depths. The crystal shards, called comb, have their own magnetic fields and react oddly with the planet's gravitational forces. Some comb shards levitate, others remain firmly solidified in the ground. Some shards are embedded so deeply in stone and other materials that the materials themselves share some of the same properties. So the cataclysm that happened on Ekayion and the displacement had huge consequences in the balance of forces on the planet, creating anomalies everywhere. One of the two most notable effects was the blanket of mist and cloud covering, right? So the whole surface of the planet was covered in cloud, so basically blanking out all sunlight from the surface of the planet. And so a seemingly endless storm that appeared over an impact that continued for millennia. The second most notable effect was the detachment of large and small chunks of the crust of the planet's surface. Areas as large as continents detached from the planet and began floating, so pulled by mysterious gravitational forces. So it took thousands of years for the world to rebalance itself. And so between the planet's attempts to restore itself and the constant instability brought on by the unnatural forces of Hennikar. So Hennikar is the name of the main crystal, like the largest of the crystals that what it becomes called. And so you can see, yeah, the pieces of the planet itself. And here's some more examples of that. So the regions of the floating lands above the clouds consist of land masses and plenty of smaller islands, including 5 main ones. So there's 5 main land masses, and each kind of have their own environment and properties. And so they're all depicted. And that's kind of the first board game, the first setting that they did is the islands of Mistia. So those 5 islands. So there's descriptions of the 5. So the Hennecore releases regularly waves of energy, and everything that they happen to hit, pulsing and twisting everything they happen to hit. So luckily for the inhabitants of Mistia, they are far enough from the crystal to be out of reach of this energy. So that the crystal that's embedded in the planet is pulsing and creating those bizarre energies, have dramatic effects on everything. So the islands are periodically hit by beams of energy from the crystal and are heavily affected. As beholders of this phenomena, they are hypnotized, waiting to be immersed into the next pulse of waves. These islands are hazardous. So they're talking about, so not the main 5, but other islands are within the range. So the anomaly, so Mistia, the crystal and its odd satellites have always been there, and have become the stuff of tales and legend, both admired and feared in the astonishing and terrifying places that faith venerates, and the scholars can only dream of comprehending. So the civilizations that rose up around this are, of course, all crystal-based, so either faith or science, crystal-based. So yeah, here's the talk of the society. So the people living in Mystia are naturally able to act telekinetically with the comb shards. So since they have a natural propensity and are able to perform amazing feats. So this is kind of the explanation. This is the magic. This is the thing that kind of powers the science and the magic and everything in this world. And so the city, the largest city, the main city of Ilvash, and the kingdom of Ahatils. So the capital of the kingdom, the ruling dynasty of Ahatils, is Ilvash. It's a sprawling city and the biggest floating on the chunk of land in Mistia. It's the oldest city ever built, and it rules over all the cities and towns. So after decades of peace, the king's conquest of the opposing states, the rulers decide to delegate the management of the state to 5 major guilds. So that's the kind of governmental structure that after the first conquest of the largest kingdom and the main king, everything is based on guilds. And then something happens from one of the guilds, so a breakthrough. So recently, and for the first time ever, the Magista, the Guild of Scholars, decide to collaborate with the Faith, represented by the Lusma Guild, and research a new artifact. The hoped-for artifact will be able to amplify the people's powers provided by the crystal, by the comb, and allow them to move quantities of comb previously thought unimaginable. So manufacturing these artifacts is extremely difficult and expensive, but if they succeed, this was a huge breakthrough. They created objects that in the right hands would allow the people to complete incredible feats. So all of the the economy, the magic, the power, everything is relying on these crystals and their various properties. So only 5 artifacts were created, and they were gifted to the guilds. So each guild of the capital received one of these artifacts. And so for the first time in history, they were able to explore new and terrifying sacred places using these artifacts. The idea started to spread among the whole population that they would finally be able to reach the places that the tales and legends that touched the land had come from. So now they were able to explore the islands as well as beyond. So here's a kind of a run through of the ancient guilds. God, the artwork is just amazing. It's really really compelling and has a nice kind of unrecognizable setting. It feels very original and has a really nice nice quality to it. And there we go. So Varorin, the Guild of the Merchants. So the merchants represent the interests of the merchants, banks, and others involved in commerce. They were the first guild to understand, with the aid of the artifacts and enough concentration, a talented comb manipulator could move a comb-powered airship from the homeland to the nearest of the 5 islands, successfully taking explorers there. From this, everything started. The Guild of Nobility. So Valaris, the guild represents the interests of the pure-blooded noblemen close to the crown who live off the family's inheritance. Their power is entirely tied to the land ownership. Nice. Yeah, very nice. And of course, yeah, they do heraldry and icons for all of the various guilds, and that becomes important in the game. And color bases, color-based as well. You can see each of the guilds kind of has their thematic color. There's a golden yellow, and then nice bluish, like aquamarine. Lusma, the Guild of Faith. So that was the collaboration between the merchants and the and the faith. So this guild claims to represent the interests of those left behind by the other wealthier guilds. So despite what they say, they hold immense power. So once they reach the Hennecourt and conquer those lands, their god will finally reward their faith. So their faith and kind of worship of that main crystal is a basis for their faith. Keator, the Guild of Soldiers. So the most feared guild on the entire island is composed of soldiers, military officials, and security militia, although they swear loyalty to the crown, but this guild has been known to utilize their power to promote their own interests. They fund expeditions because they need to maintain control over all the territories. There's kind of a red theme for the military guild. And Magister, oh no, that's right, it was the scholars. The scholars in the faith created the artifacts. The small guild represents the city's scholars, so Magister Guild of Scholars. They have an obsession with increasing their knowledge, and they are those in the city that truly understand how the manipulation of comb actually works. Even if they're just a small group made up of oftentimes peculiar individuals, they are respected. So they fund expeditions because they believe that the proximity to the Hennecourt could bring breakthroughs in experiments, and because truly they are also curious to discover the wonders of the new land. And Shinglori, the Order of Champions. While technically not a guild, this order represents the champions of the same way that guilds represent the rest of the population. So being a champion means being different from the rest of the citizens. It's a title that comes with honors and duties. So for a champion, being involved in the politics could cost them their title due to their vow of neutrality. So since the champions cannot enter into a guild, the order is what ensures that they have their rights and duties in both to the kingdom and the guilds towards the champions are always honored. The leader of the order is decided by election and cannot remain in power for more than a year. So here's the champions of Ilvash. So the whole kingdom buzzed with excitement when the guild announced that they were going to fund expeditions. So the champions are who they send for expeditions, and like we saw, the Order of Champions is the organization, I guess similar to the Doom Troopers in Mutant Chronicles. It's a collaboration of the guilds to fund expeditions. Telron is a feared and respected personality in Ilvash, considered to be one of the many most able comb manipulators. Yeah, we're going to see some miniatures of some of these main titled characters. So these are the champions. Aneth is an ex-soldier and a retired commander that led the Ilvash army to victory in the Great War. Nice. Seleth is from the family of the Othrats, also the ruling nobles, and an heiress to the throne of Ilvash. The daughter of the king, rightful owner of the crown when the time comes. Nice. Lahir Lehir was once the leader of a rebel group that attempted to overthrow the crown. So all of these champions come from very, very opposite motivations, very distant situations. So alone, she fled Ilvash to ask for political asylum. I love that they even include, kind of the sketches and the early production for these characters. Sanya grew up near the city walls of Ilvash and populated by the lower-class farmers that traveled daily to the farmlands outside. Nice. So a lot of people remained trapped. Oh, so there was an accident, and after the accident, from the Mystia Guild crafted 2 prostheses. Oh, so that's the replacement. So in an accident, Sanya lost her lower legs and was equipped by the Mystia. Nice. So made out of comb, so that Sanya would use her powers to help movement. Wow. Kolbar and Malabar. Nice. I really love the full page illustrations that they give you. We'll probably see repetition of some of this in rule books and things, but this is like the larger art. So they're known as the twins. So very little is known about the twins, including where they came from. Nice. CR2T1. Yeah, I like the kind of robots and animated golems are, so they're powered by the crystals. So they have a really kind of in-between sci-fi and fantasy. But nice. Yeah, the designs, I like the designs a lot. So these machines operate only to help people fulfill their goals, but if those goals follow a specific moral code, the conduct of the CR2T1 is hardwired with, the code is still impossible to fully comprehend for all the inhabitants of Ilvash. So these are older, ancient machines that were built to aid at the beginning of civilization, and no one really knows what exactly is going on. So the monsters... So the whole world is populated. So everywhere that the storm kind of blanketed created these anomalies, these oddities that all came from the generation of the crystal. So we'll see a bunch of those. Anageris the Collector. This is a species of huge scarab-like monsters with 4 arms. Nice. We're gonna see more of that. Bolron the Reaper. And elegant creatures that appear in Mistia from some time ago. Their presence is unsettling. Chorus, the inhabitant from below. Nice. So this is kind of the bestiary. These are the big bads. I mean, these are the large, maybe the roaming monsters that we're going to see in the first board game setting. Wow. Kanaborak the Comb Eater. A giant multi-mouthed. Look at it. Instead of 1 eye, it's 1 eye and 6 mouths. Nice. Kadror the Infestation. Yeah, I like this, kind of mix of organic and geometric. So the unique kind of mold-like life form that seems to develop and grow only when in contact with comb. Utkoro the Swarmer. Nice. And here's a few more shots of the city. So here's the champions, the playable champions, and then wow, they're headed towards a huge manifestation of comb. Wow, this looks great. Yeah, so I really love this artwork, and there's the wraparound from the cover. That's a close-up of what we were just looking at. So that is a little bit about the setting. Let's see if there's any other things. So everything is kind of powered by, I think that was pretty much everything. Everything is powered by the crystals, and the setting begins on those 5 islands. And now that they have the artifacts, it allows them to travel between the islands. But let's start with that first setting and see where it goes. Oh, apologies for that. So here is Mistia, the original game that was produced. So 2 to 5 players, 90 to 120 minutes. So Tabula Games, Martino Chiachiro, and Marta Siakarsa. Oh, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation. Marta Siakasiasi. Excellent. So there's that same artwork that we just saw. Oh, my Italian. Yeah, maybe I should. Let me get the plastic off. So here we go. This I've had this for a while. I've had this for a few years now, waiting for a chance to do this, and finally kind of got everything together. And with the release of the RPG, it became something I could no longer wait on. So 14 and up. Oh, nice. There we go. Yeah, really nice. So kind of a satiny, not very glossy finish on the, is there spot varnish on there? Or is that just, oh, there's a little bit. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, there's kind of a, I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it when I tilt it. See, there's a spot varnish, but just on the edges of the trees and the crystals. So it has a very interesting, it catches the light in a very odd way. So the rest of the box is kind of a satin finish, but there is kind of a spot varnish on there. All right. So, let's take a look at the back first. Give you a little preview. So, a miniatures board game. So, Mistia, discover a new world. So, explore and control the... Oh, thanks. K5, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, good to see you. Very cool. All right. The uncharted places, shaken by the bizarre forces where anomalies bend the laws of physics and life has evolved in strange ways. So face terrifying creatures and find a way to survive the mysteries and dangers that will manifest themselves throughout your journey. Build and upgrade your forces and forge alliances and break them. So do everything in your power to impose your dominion over the harsh unexplored lands. Yeah, so there's the five floating islands. So the components are a game board, an event board, 5 floating islands, 5 player boards, 7 champion miniatures, 7 champion cards, attunement cards, lots of cards, 7 monster miniatures, more region cards, summary cards, 20 golem miniatures, 2 alternative poses. I think those are like the minions. So they're much smaller, but I think it's all kind of color. I think it might be color-coded. I remember seeing that. They're not showing that here, though. It looks like 1 color plastic. 5 artifact tokens, glory tokens, point markers, encounter, so a ton of tokens, and then, colored bases. So they do, yeah, the guilds are going to have kind of their color coding, and then a custom token bag and free companion app. Oh, that's right. This has an app component to it as well. So we'll have to see. I'll have to take a look at that. I remember saying there was a lore. I think the early... Whoa, sorry. It doesn't want to come off. It's fighting me. Oh, there we go. Look at... There's all the backer names on the inside of the box. Nice. Yeah, I think they're doing that with their newest Kickstarter. So I've got a new Kickstarter up right now, which is the Guilds. I think it's a expansion. It's a card game expansion. Wow, there's all the names of all the backers. All right, and looks like here's our boards for tracking. Oh, yeah, and they do it. That's great. They do it by the guilds. So here's our guilds. I, of course, haven't memorized the guilds. I remember that being the Merchant, and that's the Faith Guild. And who are those guys? Wow, but these are really thick. And they've got the logo on the back. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, so here's where you keep track of everything for your guild. Those are, I mean, I'm really impressed by how thick that is compared to, things we've been opening recently. And here's our first land and some of our tokens. So, yeah, it looks like we're sticking with the color coding of the guilds. And then the different values, and then different areas on the island. So it's kind of a area control, I think kind of, combination of like worker placement, area control, but it's not really workers. I think you're placing basically soldiers. Nice, and everything is two-sided. Wow, these look great. And here is the rule book. Just give it a quick flip. There's all of our components that we're going to be dealing with, and our smartphone. Nice. Yeah, but the artwork, yeah, throughout is really great. So there's what our board setup looks like. So here's our Hecator, the main crystal and the islands floating around it. And then our events boards and everything else. Wow. And then the phases of gameplay, beginning of an era, during an era. And all the activities you can take. Wow. So develop, meditate. So yeah, you're basically, you're playing as a guild and you're empowering them and upgrading them as you explore. So you're probably, yeah, like moving crystals and everything, and end of an era. So there's 3 phases, each part of the development era, and here's the champions that you can use. So yeah, each of them, I mean, even if their origin is from a specific guild, they're not guild allied, so you can be any champion representing any guild. Wow, yeah, I really love the artwork, and here's all the monsters that we went through a bit of. So yeah, just smaller teases of the art. And the attunements. Oh, and then encounters. Command cards. Wow, they're showing you, yeah, everything in there and giving you the visual kind of depictions of everything that happens in the various eras. Era 1 and 2, 3. Wow, yeah, so they're kind of, this is the, looks like the text of the cards themselves. So I'm not sure, that might be a thing. I can't remember if they worked really hard, you know, for kind of making it, you know, bilingual or international, doing a lot of symbols, maybe, so a lot of icons and symbols in the cards, so the translation would be separate. So that may be why. So this is the English rule book, so that may be why you have the cards, and then this is an explanation of what they do. It's shown with icons, but if you don't quite know what that means, there's an explanation in your native language. I think I remember that being the case. All right. Oh, another tray with nice covers on it. Wow, yeah, I've opened a ton of... oh my god, yeah, there's a ton of trays of miniatures. Wow. Oh, this is great. Yeah, so here's our heroes and monsters, as you can see. So a few of them, yeah, the sculpts, they have identical sculpts, but it's a board game, so they're just representing, you know, a number of units. Wow. All right, so I guess let's take a look at this first tray. Oh, it's taped on, of course. I get to make some extra noise here. I better take it off completely. Oops, there we go. That's gonna kick back on me. So let's see. I guess we'll start with some of these huge monsters. Wow. Yeah, there we go. Let me get the light a little bit more in position so you can see. Yeah, with the focus. So that must be our 6-armed. What is it? Our 6-armed monster. Yeah, so these are all the large. Yeah, I really like it. So it's got a little bit of warping. That sword's a little thin. But the detail, if you can see, yeah, the detail is really great. So very nice reproduction of the illustrations. A lot of dynamic posing and everything. Yeah, it looks really nice. And here's our mold-like creatures that just attach themselves to the comb in the setting. Wow. Yeah, these are all of our big roaming monsters. Yeah, these are the plastic is really decent that they use. It's really nice and thick. Oh, and this is number 15. So let me see on the bottom. Did they do that? Yeah, yeah. So they're doing numbers to represent things. That may just be for their batches or whatever. It may not correlate to anything in the game. Wow. Yeah, here's a much more. I think we saw that, yeah. Much more elegant. Yeah, not a heck of a lot to clean up. They look decent. On the base you can see, yeah, a little bit. You can see on the base whether you're going to run into lens, but really, yeah, really nice depictions of all of the monsters. Wow. Yeah. Very true to the illustrations. I think that's a nice, it's a nice thing. Oh, there's a pretty heavy mold line on here. They thought they could hide it. But yeah, it's like running on the side of that crystal. And then just kind of continues up the arm. Not too bad. Yeah, really well done. Oh, wow. The teeth and everything are, and horns. That's great. Yeah, and 21. Yeah, there's some numbers on the back of everything. So here's our heroes, and there's that shield. Look at that. Yeah, it's all depicted really well. So these are looking. Oh, is that? I'm not missing anything, am I? Yeah. So these are looking 28 millimeter scale. Nice. That looks like our princess. Wow. But, the setting is a very original feel and has a really nice look to it. So it has that, a fantasy look, but there's all this geometry because everything is crystal based. So it has a very cool look. Oh, and here's one of our mysterious automatons. He looked bigger in the illustrations, but I guess he's human size. Yeah, he looked massive in that one that one drawing. Oh, and here's the character that was rebuilt using comb technology. And here we go. Oh, these are the twins. They're on one base. Look at that. Our mysterious twins. They're always back to back. Yeah, really well done. All right, so let's take a look at one of each of these. So here's more of these. So it looks like, creatures that are all crystal based. So these are the things you're going to be dealing with that are probably manifesting on the islands that you're beating to either harvest or occupy. Nice. So it's a singular sculpt. So it looks like, what do we have? 3, 6, 9. So 10 of each, and one pose. But if we take a look, let's see real quick. Oh, we've got even more, even more stuff going on here. And we'll take a look at this other tray in a second after we see what else is going on here. But yeah, they did do for the smaller. They didn't call them minions. But the smaller characters have multiple sculpts, so it gives you a little bit more variety. These look like card sleeves. Yeah, or sleeves to hide. Yeah, and each of the guild... Oh, those are nice. Yeah, each of the guild marks are on them. So this may be how to hide your objective. So hidden information or not public information in the game can be stored there. What are these guys? Oh, these are, yeah, just a black color. So, yeah, maybe one of the... Oh, yeah, it looks like one of the colors of the guilds is black. So these are base covers for the little guys. And then your, like, 25 mil. So it looks like a bunch of those. And here are the smaller cards that look like they get placed on your dashboard. Oh, no way. So they did go, wow, look at this. So here are, this is amazing. These tiny little rule cards, kind of the rule summaries cards, but they're in every language. I just saw Japanese. Yeah, here's Japanese on the back. So they did do a really serious job of translating this game. And I think because they kept, oh yeah, here, like you can see, well, no, you can't see from the glare. Here we go. So you can see here, the cards are just done with icons. So there's numbers and icons. So there's no translation necessary for the cards. So the rule book contained, if you don't quite understand what they're trying to tell you with the symbols, it contains what each card means. And then a rules summary in the your native language allows you to play. So basically you could be playing with people, at a table that don't even speak the same language, but could could get through a session of the game because they know what all the cards do, and everybody that sees the icons on the cards could follow. That's amazing. Yeah, so that's a lot of translation. So take a quick look. So more of the wonderful artwork. Yeah, so they did show you, what the meaning of all of those means. So what you're actually doing. So these are basically like the formulas that are showing you what, by playing each card, what effect you're getting, what you're converting. You seem to be moving things between converting different creatures or converting different resources, and they're all colored. Oh, and they also have their era. So there's certain eras that you're playing them in. Yeah, it's a very Euro style, but it's funny. It's kind of a nice combination of Ameritrash, like colorful, miniatures heavy, really heavy theme, but with kind of your Euro game mechanics. So the mechanics themselves, as far as area control and everything, feel very European. It's a Italian studio, but the kind of lush production of the game feels a little bit more American. I don't know if those terms are even relevant anymore. I'm not sure if people even use those same terms. But back when I first started reading about board games, those were the two, kind of Euro style and Ameritrash were the two big genres. I'm sure it's become almost unidentifiable. Sorry about all that tape pulling sounds. So a nice cover. So this is going to store, this looks like it's going to store really well. Everything back where it needs to go. And the trays are done, they're the vacuum form trays, but done decently. They're pretty sturdy. So here's all our little, these guys are really tiny. So wow, you can clip colored bases on all these little guys. So we've got a couple of alternative, sorry, they're humorously small. A couple of alternate poses for these guys. So they're all just kind of comb-based beings. So these guys are probably like, 1 point, or the minor monsters. And the other ones are much more powerful or bigger. And then we've got the colored bases for all of the different guild colors. And see, look at the little tiny base covers for the those minions, those punks, whatever they're referred to as. And then it looks like we have wooden tokens. So there's stars that are probably markers somewhere with each of the guild colors. And I believe these go underneath the bases to represent different ownership or different empowerment. So maybe the actual monsters themselves, looks like they fit on there, so you can actually see who's owned them or who's killed them. Wow, yeah. So a lot of nice wood components too. Look at all that, all the different status markers. So everything is wood. Let's get a feel for how the painting went on these. Nice, yeah. So these nice heavy cubes and nice and smooth paint job. No drips or anything. So those look really nice. Wow. So our 5 guilds, and here's more of the cards with that. I think that was one of the criticisms, and it may be something they changed in the sequel board game. We'll find out in just a little bit. But it's a symbol language. But I guess once you've established it, though, and once you learn it, it might not be, that difficult to continue. So we'll see in the second game if they continued. So these look like kind of locations and events. Wow. Yeah, the art is just, I really love how it gives you such a nice theming and a nice tone to the game. There's the monster cards. So they do have in English, and I guess that's why they went with such kind of unconventional names, because they would work in most languages. You can use just the Roman character names of each of the monsters themselves. Yeah, there's everything. Oh, there's that, amazing shield that we saw. Nice. Yeah, but there's all of our heroes and characters and more locations. And just, yeah, the artwork throughout is just nice. Oh, and the cards themselves have a nice linen finish. So they've got that nice textured finish and are, yeah, really decent. These will handle, you won't need to sleeve these right away. I think the, what was it, Star Saga? Yeah, those needed sleeved immediately because they were very fragile, kind of thin cards. But these are very durable. Yeah, very kind of standard, board game quality cards. And here's the the little bag. I think we'll be drawing maybe cubes out of here or color based things to show who's doing what when. So it's everything that's there. And here's more of our dashboards. So here's the here's two more of our guilds. Nice. Yeah, really impressed with the quality of the components. And here is our board. So this is where everything's going to be set up on. Nice. So there's our there's that Hedekar, the main crystal, and our 5 floating islands over the storm of Ekayion. So yeah, and you can't see anything past this blanket, but as you can see, and hint for what's coming up in the next game, there is a break in the cloud cover there, so there may be something on the surface of the planet. And this looks like our victory point track on the outside, and kind of events, places for events. So there may actually be like a see if you can see this down here, like a shop. Here's things that can be purchased, or here's things that are in effect now. But yeah, well-made board. They even branded on the back. It's not just plain back. They've got their game logo on the back there. Yeah, really nice attention to detail and really good quality components. Yeah, very beautiful. And here's our 4 remaining islands, and they're 2-sided. So let's see. Oh yeah, so maybe not until you've explored do you actually know what each of those areas is worth. Those seem to have resources on them, but on the flip side, there's no resources listed. So yeah, you may decide where to go before you actually know what's on there. And here's our events. Oh, there we go. And here's explanation of how you can convert things. Yeah, so there's definitely a symbol, a little bit of a learning curve with the symbol language that they're showing. But yeah, nice. And yeah, we saw this illustration in the book before. Yeah, really good use of the illustrations. Oh, and of course, attention to logo details. So here looks like an English reference. Yeah, there we go. So here's the eras. So the first era and all the cards. So yeah, it looks like this is reproducing the card effects that we saw in the rule book. So you don't have to pass around the rule book. You actually have these cards to hand out and determining what you're playing. And then this tells you. So we just look at a very simple example. So pay 1 of those to recharge your artifact. So that's what that little formula is, meaning 1 of those equals 1 charge. So yeah, and that helps if there could be any, if there's any ambiguity or anything from just the symbol language, this will help you say, this is the actual language they're using to say how those rules are applied. So nice. That's, the last thing is just the rules references. Come on. Oh, is that stuck? No, that's not stuck. It's just stuck for me. Yeah, but that's it. And more backers. Look at that. The continuing wall of backers inside the box. Nice. Excellent. Wow. Yeah, so really nice. I'm glad I finally got to open this. Nice attention to detail with everything. The game boards and the thickness of all of the tokens and everything. And it's not a huge amount of tokens. That's nice. And a lot of the tokens are actually wooden and things. Here's our dashboards and things. We'll keep our rule book on top, but maybe we'll stick these underneath as well. Wow. So this was their first game using this setting. So the first time they kind of introduced what this was, and it right away, I was really interested in it right away, and I liked how it just took you. None of it felt too overly familiar or like it's been done before. It felt very original, and the fact that they started with a kind of Euro style game, but with really interesting, hero characters, champion characters, and fun mechanics and things that just put you kind of into that world in their first kind of the explorations of the guilds into these islands. So kind of the beginning of how this phase of this kingdom started to reach out and start to benefit from the catastrophe that they had gone through. So this was Mystia, the first game that was released. Let's take a look at Ekayion, the second game. So the same size box, the dimensions, the same, very standard board game square. So again, 14 plus, 2 to 5, 90 to 120 minutes, and the same designers, which I won't mispronounce their names completely again. But this is Ekayion, and we have obviously a large, crystal-based, comb-based miniature that's roaming around. So Ekayion is the planet name, right? So Mistia is the floating cities. Ekayion is the planet name. So let's open this up so we can see the back again. And let's check for that spot varnish again, because they did that really interesting spot varnish before. Ooh, really heavy plastic. And these came, when they shipped them, they came with corner protectors and covered with, nice layers of bubble wrap. I mean, they were shipped really, really perfectly. So they handled their fulfillment really well. Also, here's the colored plastic I was thinking. Oh, and they did do it again. Look at that. Yeah, so the crystal and some, just kind of highlight detail, a silhouette of the golem, and down into the logo. They did, little subtle spot varnishing again. That looks really good. And here's a little hint of the characters we're going to be dealing with in this one. So they're expanding. Oh, here's colored. This looks like colored plastic. So this is what we're dealing with. So here's Ekayion. So discover a new world. Become a seeker, an expert adventurer sent out by the organizations to hunt for treasure. So instead of expeditions, you're treasure hunters now. So comb relics and artifacts from the ancient times. So you will have to lead a convoy to the barren, cold lands surrounding the city. So this expands the lore even further. So let's go, because I don't have an art book for this one, so I'll just run through a little bit more of the lore. So as you can see, well, it's not on the front. Maybe in the rule book will show you. From the board, you could see that there were 5 floating islands. Just a second. 5 floating islands around a large crystal embedded in a planet, but the cloud cover broke around the crystal itself and light could penetrate through to the planet's surface, and that's where this part of the game is set. So this is on the planet itself, and so the seekers are sent from the city that basically the only place to survive is immediately around the crystal, and so they're sent outside into the wilds, like to go beyond civilization, so into the dark kind of cloud covered areas. So so the city itself just ranges completely around the crystal, and everything of course is still based on the comb itself. And so in this game there are classes of characters. So there's farmers, extractors, seekers, and workers. And the organization is the kind of ruling body of the city around the Hecador, the large crystal, that sends out seekers to explore what exactly is going on outside into the uninhabitable parts. So once you're outside, you will compete with other seekers for resources and lands. So similar to what you're doing in the first game, sabotage and subterfuge are always expected by the leaders of the rival expeditions, but beware. The furthest lands from the city, there is a titanic being that lurks, moving relentlessly and spreading an illness all over the world. The Colossus, so that's the name of that golem, the Colossus, has been a mystery to the people of Ekayion and will be inevitable, and you will inevitably cross its path. So here's a game board, event board, so similar. Division boards, let's see, markers, comb crystals, 150 comb crystals. So we actually have crystal tokens in this game. So there's 7 seekers and wonders, and then the oversized Colossus miniature. Harvester miniatures, scavenger miniatures. Wow, so we have, looks like, more of our seekers, more heroes, but also a lot more the smaller miniatures. So let's see what's going on. Yeah, and did they do the same thing? And this is box going to make the same crazy sound? No, look at that, nice and smooth. Let's see. Oh yeah, they did it as well. Yeah, this is really cool. Look at that. So they're really, this Tabula Games does a really good job of supporting their backers and returning backers. If you've supported previous games, they give you something as a kind of added bonus, and we'll take a look at one of those things soon. As a kind of reward for, you have both of these games. Well, here's something that gives you a good reason to own both of these games. So yeah, nice printing on the inside and all the packer names. All right. So here's our crystal markers, and wow, yeah, so nice heavy again, the heavy 2-sided. Oh, and right away, here's the area. So this doesn't have, so like the floating islands could be moved on that board. This area is just all of the regions outside. But I guess what we're also looking at though is maybe the shadows of the 5 islands themselves. But here's the main crystal, and then all of the city around there. So I guess this is where civilization is, and this is as you move further out. Whoops. I will not knock the camera over. Oh, and here we go. We've got two sides here. Nice. So is there a difference? Oh, that looks pretty similar. I wonder, maybe they changed the track, the victory track or something? Yeah. Or the placement of the planets? No, it looks very similar. Wow, yeah, but there might be actually region size changes or configuration. I can't flip it easily back and forth onto the camera. But again, a nice sturdy board, nice finished edges. Yeah, the edges are nice and finished. So you don't have any just raw cardboard or whatever that's just going to absorb moisture. Everything is nice and sealed. And again, yeah, the great, oh wow. Oh wow, these are really nice. The quality of their components is just incredible. Yeah, they do a really nice job. So this is two pieces of that heavy board, and here's the Ekayion logo on the back. 2 pieces of the heavy board sandwiched together with cutouts. So as you can see, you've got little areas to put all of your, so if you're, placing crystals or, upgrading, you're actually moving things along the board, and you can slot in cards to the sides here. So there's a space for, everything to be kind of slotted in. These look like the eras. Yeah, so those crystals from the first piece look like they go right into those slots. Look at that. Yeah, really nice. I love when they do this, when they sandwich these dashboards like this, so you don't have stuff sliding around because somebody bumps a table, or if you're drinking or whatever when you're playing and you're a little bit clumsier than usual. Stuff doesn't go anywhere when it's sitting, and especially this deep. Look at how thick that is. So things will sit in these nice recesses, and you can, just through the course of the turns. Wow, really nice. So each of these factions, I think they're repeating the same guilds. I haven't seen any markers yet, but the colors look very similar. But yeah, they're really well glued together and everything. Yeah, I really love this. These nicely produced components. Oh, it's so nice to finally see these. I was just waiting for a chance to open all of this at the same time. And it just looks beautiful. And here's our other board. I forget what they're calling this, but like kind of the event board. And again, the same nice quality using the artwork. And yeah, and so I guess that answers our question, is they're sticking with their symbols. Yeah, so you're doing the, you get the icons for everything. So you need to just understand. And it looks like a lot of duplication from the previous game as far as like, you know, victory points and things. But yeah, a nice, just like the other board, nice and finished, nice tape edges. Everything very nice and sealed. All right. Whoa, there we go. There's some colored miniatures. So here's Ekayion. And again, yeah, they run through everything that's in the box and give you a nice presentation. And the Colossus, yeah. He's not looking as colossal. It's the biggest miniature we've seen, but in this game, but he's not as colossal as I thought he would be. Nice, and just, yeah, getting everything ready. Wow. Yeah, some examples of how things are laid out. Yeah, so you're putting your crystals. This is really great. I really like how these dashboards work. And how everything, yeah, should be laid out. All your cards and banks of everything. Beginning of the year, so instead of eras, it's a year of a turn. Yeah, and it's more area control and kind of occupation. Wow. Yeah, really, really beautifully done. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, so we didn't get an art book. There may actually be an art book, but I didn't add it, I think, for this pledge, but look at that. Your centerfold for the rule book. They know they've got a great artist working on this, and they really need to take advantage of that production. Ending the game. Yeah, and so here we do the same thing again. So there's the cards with the icons on them, and then they give an explanation of how things work. And here's our seekers. The lone survivor, the heir, the outsider, the criminal, the cursed, the machine, and the creature. So we'll have icons, or we'll have miniatures, miniatures for those. Very cool. And here's all of our different little monsters. So the rules for each of these. Oh, parasite colony, transmuter, living altar, dark bell, wonders expansion. Oh, that's right. So there's wonders and mechanics here. And another thank you. So, and end credits. Yeah, really, really good. Good looking book itself. And again, they covered their trays well. This time everything was on top. So, oh geez. So we got a lot. So these are the guys that look like they sit in the dashboard. Am I gonna be able to do this? Yeah. So these guys look like they sit in the spots in the dashboard. Wow. That's great. So yeah, through phases so you're basically probably filling these slots to either deny you this ability or empower that. So yeah, let's take a look. So colored plastic, so interesting choice, yeah. And I noticed with some of these, unless you want to like go back and recolor some of the games that I've had with colored plastic, I've had a bit of success just doing a clear coat on them and then doing some heavy washes and a little dry brushing to pull out all the details. So you can keep the original color, although it may not be bad to tune the colors a little bit closer to to what's going on the dashboards. I think you can get some of the, oh wow. Yeah, so these are all, here's a bit of industrial. So these are all representing, so this is nice. Instead of these flat tokens, these are three-dimensional representations of these mining. Yeah, those are all the same mining facilities and things. Or these guys, look at the multi-phase. Maybe the black plastic isn't the best to show the detail. Let's try yellow. Yeah, so you can see the multiple faces. So each of these represent something that you're utilizing on the surface. And more of those harvesters. Nice. And then, yeah, a larger crystal. Looks like a walking type vehicle, like a carrier. Wow. Excellent. Those all sit in there nicely. So let me not lose that off the bat. Whoa. Okay. Let's do the Seekers next. Oh wow. Oh, we've even got. Uh-oh. Whoa. Okay. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Nice. So this is a secret, and I think this was a Kickstarter, a Kickstarter deal. So here's the. Oh, good. These aren't taped. Here's the tray of our Seekers. If I can actually open it. Nice. So they give you. Oh, here's everything in little bags. Oh, these little tiny guys. Look at this. Yeah, so these are all broken up into individual bags. So tiny little miniatures. But still, yeah, decent detail. So many little, let's see. Oh yeah, these are all different too. So maybe small allies, similar to like the minions of the previous ones. There's different little sculpts of these little guys. Yeah, very interesting. The design of each of these, so very unique. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, very unique designs, but all identical. So it looks like you get like six of each of these. Identical little support guys, and then the colored bases to match the guilds again, and the same colors as well. That's nice. So it will become very familiar. So let's take a look at our Seekers. Oh, again, yeah, nice. Again, nice detail. You can see. Yeah. So just like the previous game, there's no big change in how everything was done. And this looks like there's classes of characters, so they have more generic names. So it was named characters that appeared in the. Oh my gosh, this little person goes somewhere. This little torso slots in somewhere. I just haven't seen where yet. So somebody has that. But yeah, really good representation of the illustrations in miniature form. That's really nice. On a throne. That's great. Wow. Yeah, no bending or anything particularly warped. These all came out really well. Wow. Yeah, large blades and yeah, all the detail is really nice. I mean, these are board game miniatures. It's amazing how the ante has been upped. And this is what, 2019, I think, 2020. So this was the sequel to the game. Nice. And a head on a walking altar. Nice. Feed him crystals. Yeah, so a lot of the minions they introduced. Wow. An organic plant like vine. Yeah, really, really interesting. There's a hand holding the pedestal. So yeah, very great representation of the illustrations. It seems like it would be really hard, and especially this smaller scale. I can see more the larger, like 52 millimeter or bigger scales for these really detailed. Yeah, look at that. They're really detailed miniatures, but they did a great job. These are all hands on a base, like a lotus. Wow. Really, really great. So there's a little gap there. You can see the two pieces where it was pre-assembled between the, if I can get the shadow. So yeah, here there's a pretty decent gap. But it's an impressive board game miniature. And speaking of impressive board game miniatures, here's our Colossus. So this is our big roaming monster. Oh, no, that is colossal. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't anticipating that base. Oh, and something slots into this base. That's great. Yeah, no, that is a significant a significant piece of plastic. It was just hiding down in that tray. Yeah, so this is your Colossus. Yeah, and these crystals look like, whoa, those are wedged in there. Oh yeah, so there's our crystal, our color-based crystals as well. Yeah, so something slots into here. Wow. Oh, this is really beautiful. And yeah, and from the box art, they did a great job. Oh, here we go. This is what slots in there. So he gets filled with these crystals. Okay. Let's see how that looks. So here's another bag of, what, 7? 7 of these crystals, and it looks like they slot into, yeah, slot into spaces. The spaces here. So I'm not sure if you need to color, these need to be color coded, or this just shows like his life, you know, or how many turns or whatever. It's like a turn marker. But wow, yeah, really well done. Wow, yeah, I can't wait to see how the mechanics of that works. Very complicated, but very fun. And so this is definitely an elaboration, you know, on what they were doing before, because basically you're just kind of converting different resources and keeping track of victory points, and there's a lot more elaborate interactions now. I'll never be able to get this back in there, will I? Yeah, so these were really, so all these colors, wow. Yeah, so lots of different colors for the crystals. So what's most visible? Let's just go with green as our test case. And just see the shape of these. Yeah, so a nice kind of irregular crystal shape. I think those will sit on the dashboard in those little pockets well if you need to move them around. Yeah, so those are well done. And very distinct colors. They didn't do anything that was too incredibly close. So that should help a lot. And it looks like, oh, sorry, crinkly. We've got a couple more wooden tokens. So each of the clan colored wooden tokens with paint, yeah. Paint on one side. And here are the cards. Whoops. Both large and small. And some more bags. So here's our bags for those crystals. That'll help, yeah, because they were just in bags where if you open them, they're not going to go back in there. So here's our smaller cards, and as you can see from this, these seat so perfectly, like right against that dashboard. Look at that. I really like how they did that. So, yeah, just really well done. And again, the symbols. So, oh yeah, these are what, maybe value. So where the victory points or other resources are actually just 3 blue crystals. Nice. And they keep all the very thematic artwork. And here's our larger cards. Yeah, so that, I hope that worked out well for them to not have to do multiple versions, because I think that's Monolith keeps running into that, because they're very bilingual. They're a French producer, and they always include both English and French. So you have double the components, double the weight of the box, and half of the things that you're probably not going to use unless you're living in Quebec. So here's explanations, so summaries. Oh yeah, there we go. So reference cards, and each is colored for the end. I think, yeah, they're identical, just colored differently. So it doesn't, yeah, you have the same information. So you're, depending on your choice of guild, it's just a color choice, maybe to identify your pieces. It doesn't affect anything mechanically. It doesn't appear. Really beautiful. Yeah, look. Oh, there's the Colossus. Different colors of the Colossus. And here's our character cards. Our seekers. Oh, sorry if I'm catching that glare wrong. But yeah, really nice character art. Yeah, I'll have to catch up if they did an art book of this game as well. And here's, looks like items that are affecting abilities. Wow. And here's, yeah, some of those kind of monster miniatures, the monster cards. I think they called them monsters, though, but yeah. The creatures that you will find. Wow. So another amazing job with components. So this is something... Okay, so you have the first game with the 5 floating islands. You have the second game where the lore is about the city surrounding the crystals. So civilization has arose and they don't have communication. Do I have to tear? Oh, no, good. It's not glued. And so you also, so if you have both of these games for the Kickstarter, so they provided you both with, so this was this is exclusive content for Kickstarter backers that were returning backers, and this was included in the Kickstarter version of the box. And so what would happen with 5 floating islands, over a planet? You would have the fall. So I love this. I love this idea. So they include rules. So here is the rule book for the fall. So the fall is how to play these 2 games together, meaning that you've got islands that have... Here, let me see if there's a good... So here's the components that you would use for the fall, and here's how to put those 2 boards together, or components from both of those games together to play an entirely new mechanical game where you're kind of changing. You're now the collapse, or like a fluctuation has happened that brings the collapse of the islands to the planet. So here's the monsters that you would use for that. And they give you a second. I'll keep these separate though, so I don't get anything screwed up. So characters' abilities that would be changed by that, and how, but you need components from each game to kind of play a combined game called The Fall, where, as you would imagine, things that are floating are not floating any longer. And so here's, additional cards for that. So I thought that was a really great idea to kind of bring people in. A good gimmick for Kickstarter, especially, to bring people in. So let's take a look at the additional kind of returning pledge backers. So, what did they say here? So this exclusive collector's item is a gift reserved for the most loyal supporters who believed in us since the beginning and allowed us to make the Mystia universe as what it is today. So these cards are an exclusive and limited print run that were created for you who contributed to both Mystia and Ekayion. It is a special token of appreciation that allows you to enhance your experience of Mystia the Fall even further. Yes, so the wow, so yeah, a second. Oh, look at that. Foil cards. Okay, I have to open these up. We gotta see the foil. Wow, look at that. Yeah, so all of the champion cards, foil version. Shiny. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so, and here's our seekers as well. So all of the characters from both games in a shiny foil version. Nice. Yeah, there's our two sets. So there, thank you for supporting both games. Let's give you the shiniest cards ever. That's really cool. Yeah, so I thought that was a great idea to combine these 2 things together. So these 2 worlds collide. So you have 2 games in the same setting that are giving you similar experiences in kind of different parts of this universe, and bringing them together in the fall, I thought was a great idea. All right, so that was Ekayion. I'll never be able to get those. I don't know. I might just have to fake this here. Wow. So yeah, such really interesting designs for all of the characters, and then yeah, we've got these markers to fill the slots on your dashboard as well as the map. Wow, yeah, the Colossus is a impressive miniature, and it looks nice. It looks nice like that. Yeah, wow, what a nice surprise. All right, so the world of Mystia continues. So a small kind of quick Kickstarter that they did, but nothing nothing too minor. This is pretty amazing as well. Is they did a card game to support this same universe. So the other thing. Oh wait. Oh sorry. One more thing. Oh, before we get to Valfurion. Ekayion also included the Aberration. So this was an additional miniature. Let's take a look and see. They don't have the details. Yeah, 2019. Wow, so they did 2018 and 2019. And I think this was like a Kickstarter, a miniature that they added to the Kickstarter. So the Aberration. I don't remember seeing it in the game itself, but here's the little information. So what is the Aberration? So here's rules for how to run the Aberration miniature. Oh cool. So here's his special rules. So a special little guide, look at him. A special little guide to add to the Ekayion. Another monster. Oh nice. And this might have been one, I can't remember. They do some backer votes and things. So sometimes for designs, they'll actually turn to the backers and say, which design do you like, or which character would you like to see? So the Aberration may have been one of those fellas that was added when they kind of had competing designs. So this was also included in the Kickstarter of Ekayion itself. I'm sorry, it was sitting right there and I totally missed it. And it includes silica gel. Okay, so the next thing that happened, which is related to their current Kickstarter as well, is they did a card game. So there's not much to see on this box, but this is a collector's box that actually includes a miniature. So it's a card game that you don't need to use a miniature, of course, but they did something interesting with the miniature itself. All right. So here's the Valfurion collector's box, and you can see Valfurion is a dragon. And we're going to see a dragon miniature. I bet. Nice. So yeah, the game itself was just so you could pledge simply for this, and this was actually quite a reasonable, 136 cards. So the Valfurion game, and that there was a token. So you can't see any of that. Let me get this plastic off. So they just produced this card game. So this card game, and it includes a token. Oh, there we go. So 136 playing cards and double-sided city troop cards, and then a token that represents the dragon. Or because it's Kickstarter, and of course they go all big and ridiculous for everything, they included a dragon actual miniature. But the gimmick for this dragon miniature is then, oh my, oh, here's a nice painted, wow, here's a nice painted version on the side there. So there's 4 playing cards, 1 for Mistia, 3 for Ekayion, and a dragon miniature. So this miniature can be played with rules similar to how the Colossus works. In Ekayion, can be played as the roaming big bad. I can't believe I'm going for the big money first, going for the bonus first. So here's the expansion data sheets and the cards. But oh yeah. But look at this big guy. Whoa. So there's Valfurion sitting on top of this pile of crystal. Wow. So yeah, his tail wraps all the way around. That's insane. Much more fun to have this at the center of a card game than, I think it's just a wooden token. So that was the deluxe thing that they included. And it wasn't a huge pledge amount, because if you're already in the Mistia universe, there is, oh wow, yeah, there's nice dragon art. Look at that gappy smile, that gap tooth smile. Nice. So these are the cards, yeah, to play in the other games. And here is, yeah, just a sheet of explaining how the miniature interacts with the other games itself. Well, very glossy, very glossy sheet. Nice, yeah. So the one character card. Yeah, so here's the character card for Mistia, and then these are the Valfurion for Ekayion. So all of it works together. It's just crazy. Let's take a look at what they did for this game. Oh, here we go. So right on top, this is the token that they did. Yeah, so it's just a wood. It's painted though. It's got a nice kind of rendering on it. So this was the token just for the card game itself, and this was the miniature that they produced. So it wasn't a very difficult choice on my part. All right. Yeah, so and then the rule book. Yeah, there's a lot of protection in there. So here's the rule book for Valfurion. And so again, 14 and up, 15 to 30 minutes, and 1 to 2 players. So I guess you can literally play against the AI of the dragon. So a 1 to 2 player card game. There's everything that's inside, and then game setup and how you lay out the table. And then what everything means on the cards. Yeah, it looks like they're repeating a lot of the same icons as well. And then locations, yeah, city cards to play, yeah, so all the warriors and everything. Acquire an asset. Nice, and so it's the same wonderful art throughout. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the same icons. Extra cards and game variants. So the little rule book, and here is what they included. Wow. So I think just like the previous version, you are, whoa, yeah, conquering and holding territories. I wonder if you're actually drafting, like if you pick a faction, or if you're actually drafting these cards. Yeah, so here's locations. And locations have value. It may just be that you're fighting over locations. So you build 2 decks. It may be like more deck building. And they don't give you a summary of the style of play, but it may be very much that you're deck building and then location, like winning locations. Because here's the here's locations, and then all of these army cards, scholars, comb, scout. Wow. They're really, really nice quality, though. Very heavy, heavy cards with a nice finish. As you can see, they're not super glossy. Got a really nice texture to them, kind of like that satiny kind of rubberized texture. So not glossy at all. Living knife. So here's different. Wow, floating crystals, prospector cards, lots of prospectors, captains, diviners. Comb ritual, hidden cache. So again, reinforcing kind of the same roles and things of the setting. So there's scientists and wizards and priests, kind of all based in suicide mission, all based in the same world setting. So it has a fantasy, but also very sci-fi. Like it's a nice combination, but kind of harkens back to the day where there wasn't really distinct lines between what was science fiction and what was fantasy, unlike what evolved, kind of after, Tolkien and, maybe tabletop role-playing had a big influence on that. The comb armory, oracles. Wow, so many nice, more nice art. Oh, and blank cards. Look at that. Yeah, it feels like you can almost write on these. They have a heavy enough coating. If you wrote with a dry erase on there, I don't think it would. I think it would handle that really well. But yeah, here's our cards to build everything for Valfurion. So yeah, this is this is everything plus the rules to play with this amazing dragon. He's got insane kind of insect. Yeah, it's more like a worm with insect legs. No flying, but yeah, it's a burrowing kind of subterranean setting anyhow, because so much of the crystal is buried underground. Uh-oh, look at that. So just like the Colossus, yeah, maybe it can operate in the same way. The crystals come off the base. That's so cool. I gotta find out what those mechanics are. So he can obviously operate the exact same way that the Colossus can, because there are crystal counters. So I'm not sure if this was health or turns, turns that they're active, or these are just, resources that when you fight, you can win. Wow, I just completely stumbled across that. Nice. Yeah, so that's obviously got to be for the Ekayion use of this guy. So this is everything. But wait. One more thing. So I'm going to, this is just going to be a tease because I think this needs its own, it needs its own video. But I just received Shattered City. So Shattered City is a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game based in the world that this card game and the 2 board games have established. So more of this gorgeous artwork and the ability to actually create characters and adventure in this world. So this is using the Powered by the Apocalypse system. So it's a 2d6 system if you're not familiar with it. And you use kind of templates. You use player skins or kind of preset rules that you then can customize a bit. But yeah, so we'll go through this. I'll do a complete flip through of this. But this is the thing that really motivated me to want to open everything that I had so far for Mistia. So again, the amazing Travis Anderson artwork. And so this was done by UFO Press, a British game studio. And it had a bit of a delay. I mean, they ran into, I think the lead designer of this game was actually a frontline worker that was involved throughout the pandemic with, dealing with the situation. So this got delayed a bit, and but they did some nice deluxe kind of handouts and things for this because the player sheets and things are very important for Powered by the Apocalypse, and they did a really nice thematic stuff for this. So I will at a later time do a nice flip through of this whole book so you can see, and I'd like to give it a read through first so that I knew a little bit more, so I wasn't speaking so ignorantly when I was flipping through it. But yeah, so this was a big motivation to want to open everything. So now I also have miniatures then that can be used to play this. So there's all kinds of variations of monsters and everything now that will work. And I'm assuming probably something that will hit just about all the character classes that are in Shattered City. But this is, I think the original title was Tales of the Borderlands. Yeah, the original, yeah, so I think it was Tales of the Borderlands. And so they ended up changing the name just to Shattered City. So I think a specific first adventure in this situation. So you're exploring and rebuilding a land scarred by war. So this must be following timeline wise after the kingdoms were established, and so the guilds are there, and you're operating as a character, maybe a champion within that setting. Well, we can actually read about that on the back, huh? So Shattered City is a role-playing game about the occupation and revolution in a fantasy world ravaged by war. Together, you'll build a city, sketch out its wonders and scars. Then you'll take the reins of the factions working to bring freedom to the city, or the foreign guild sent to bring it to heel. Ah, wow. So you'll make the heroes of the city, bold warriors, civic leaders, uncanny mystics, and together you will tell the tale of the city's struggle for freedom. As flashpoints threaten to set the city ablaze, you will fight to pull down the occupying forces and work within their system to earn yourself prosperity, as well as work with others to find moments of beauty and hope. What sort of community will you build? What mysteries will you uncover along the way? Shattered City matches the faction scale gameplay of the internationally acclaimed Legacy Life Among the Ruins. So that's the original designer was Legacy Life Among the Ruins, with Tabula Games' bizarre and beautiful Mystia universe. So with dozens of characters and faction options, pages are filled with beautiful art and tools to help your story span the decades. Shattered City has everything you need to play. Yeah, so this must be so establishing new cities on the borderlands outside of everything that's been established. So you're still under the thumb of guilds. But yeah, interesting. So kind of a Mistia themed, Mistia skinned life, legacy life among the ruins. Interesting. So I can't wait to yeah, give this a read through, and I will follow up with another video. So that was a big motivation receiving this. I really wanted to see everything that was going on in this universe and share that with you. So yeah, and currently there is one more Kickstarter. So Tabula Games right now is working on Valfurion guilds. So it's a new setting using the I believe it's like another expansion on the card game. So it's the 5 guilds again, and an unstable balance between them. Let me see if that's alive. I thought I sold it. Was not yet. Yeah, but it's coming. It's coming soon. It may be actually in May, but I'll put a link to that as soon as I have a page. So a link underneath this video as soon as I have a page. But this is the world of Mistia, and I really, ever since that first game came out, was really interested in this world. And as soon as I saw UFO Press was doing a version of their legacy game in this setting, it was very yeah, it made me very interested in seeing what else was going on. So so we've got 2 impressive Euro style games that you can actually combine together, and then a card game that came with a miniature that you can then also play within those games. So it's very interesting how they've kind of spun this universe. I'm a big fan of the stuff that Tabula Games has been doing. They've also done, not in the Mistia setting, but they did do another card game that had just, it hasn't fulfilled yet, but I think they're getting pretty close, yeah, production-wise. So, yeah, I really enjoy, the quality of their components is absolutely amazing. So if you're interested at all in any of the games, and they've produced a couple of other, more like kind of family-friendly kids-style games and things, but if you're interested in anything that they produced, you don't have to worry about the quality of everything. It's going to be really nice. The components are really nice. The wooden components, the tokens that they do are really nice. So, yeah, I'm so glad I opted for the giant plastic dragon because that's just not enough, is it? But yeah, so this is Mistia, the whole universe and setting, and I'm really glad that they're not abandoning the setting. I mean, they had some setbacks with the RPG because of the pandemic. They haven't had any real problems delivering on any of their Kickstarters, so they've been really good. Like I said, they had 2018, 2019, and I believe this was 2020. This was actually, I think, 2019 as well, but it had some delays. Yeah, let me see, what did they date? 2019 as well. Yeah, so Valfurion was 2019 as well. So they really have produced a lot of stuff in a short period of time, and none of the there's been no loss of quality in anything that they've done. So keep a lookout for the Valfurion guilds, and that will be kind of the next connecting piece to all that is Mistia. So Tabula Games, yeah, please keep up the good work. I'm terrible at pronouncing your designers' names, but I love what you're doing. I love the games. I love the setting, and Travis Anderson's artwork is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, that was everything that they've produced so far, but there'll be more to come. So like I said, there's another Kickstarter coming, and I will do a flip through of Shattered City so you can see what's going on with this role-playing game and see if it's anything you're interested in. It was very compelling that it they went with the Powered by the Apocalypse, and you have to see, I haven't even opened them yet, but because I have to see them too, but the player aids that they did for this, the character sheets and things, I really want to see those. They came in a really cool plastic case, and yeah, they did some good stuff, some good cards and things to support this game. So excellent. Thank you for tuning in. And hey, Joe, thanks so much. Yeah, it was really fun to go through all of this madness with you. And hey, K5, yeah, thanks for the sub on Twitch. Yeah, so everything's kind of been reestablished. So yeah, if you've noticed the rebranding for upturned table. So this is, I think this is kind of the first official unboxing since I did all the switchover. That was all last week. So all the switchover for upturned table. I did the first weekly on Friday, a solo cast. So thank you for joining me for that as well. But this has, been the first unboxing for upturned table, and lots of stuff. Yeah. So I was, finally, I've literally had these, I think since 2019. I've had the pile of these games that I've wanted to open and just haven't had a good opportunity. But Shattered City arriving was a big motivator. So I'm really glad to just finally see this arrive. But this is all, if you can imagine it, all the same setting. So I can't wait to see what they do with the Guilds card game and what kind of stuff they're going to be producing in the future, as well as what kind of support Shattered City is going to get. So very cool. And the foil cards, so, and they also have, I think Tabula Games just started a loyalty program. So if you've backed any of their Kickstarters in the past, they're kind of giving you points to upgrade things or kind of to buy additional things like foil cards and those sorts of things that they're producing. So there will be more stuff in the future that for everyone's kind of empowering them to keep developing things in this world. But thanks so much for joining me. And if you would like to see more, there's years of unboxing and all those good things for both RPGs, tabletop RPGs, and board games, as well as miniature games as well. We also do a lot of miniature games. So you can visit upturnedtable.com to see all of those videos. And we have a lore series for the Mutant Chronicles that I really enjoy producing. And I think the next thing that might happen with that is an exploration of the Americas during that time. Because people are asking me, like, what's the status of North and South America? Were they completely destroyed? Because the game was written by a Swedish studio and supported by an American miniatures company. But I think the Swedish original writers were very Euro-focused, so everything was happening around Europe. So what was going on in the Americas during those times? So I think that might be the next video, because that sounds like a lot of fun to write about. And because there's just a lot of great stuff. So keep an eye out for that. And you can follow Upturned Table on Twitter at Upturned Table. And the Twitch is actually Upturned Table Top if you're searching for the Twitch channel as well. So this video will be available both on Twitch and YouTube, and it gets backed up on Facebook as well. So you can find it all there. And thanks so much for tuning into this stream. We will do this again soon, and on Friday, hopefully Chris will be available, and we will do our next episode of the weekly. So that's something that happens every Friday lunchtime in Japan. So I believe like Thursday evening, wherever you are. So maybe 15, 16 hours ahead. And so it may be very early where you are or very late, but we regularly do a weekly discussion of game topics on the weekly. So please tune into that. And you'll find it in the same places. So if you have notifications on for either Twitch or YouTube, you'll get notifications when we go live for the weekly. And that's just about a 30-minute, 45-minute discussion of different topics that came up during the week and kind of hit some of the highlights of what other stuff we're up to. So I will hopefully see you then. And Joe, K5, thank you guys for tuning in. And I really appreciate everybody that's supporting the channels. It's really fun to show you all this stuff and kind of interact with everybody on everything. So thanks again for watching. And you can also visit patreon.com/upturnedtable if you want to become a patron and support what is going on and get advanced looks at our big produced videos and reviews and all that good stuff. So take a look at that, patreon.com/upturnedtable, and I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.